Dubai is one of the most expensive cities in the world, but for those of us who are budget travelers and want to experience what all the hype is about, don't worry, because this city can be done on any budget if you know what to do. So let me share with you the best tips about doing Dubai on a budget that you won't find anywhere else on the internet. Let's start this video off with the most expensive parts of a trip that are unavoidable. The first one being transportation. When you land, you'll need to find a way to get to your place. Thankfully, both terminals of Dubai's airport are on the subway line, so you should be able to get to your place using the metro. Most people stay in either Business Bay or the Dubai Marina, and both of those are on the subway line. But if you're going somewhere else, we'll get to that later. All the main attractions in Dubai are located on the subway line, so you won't need another form of transportation to get anywhere. There's also trams in the sections that aren't accessible from the subway line, like certain parts of the Dubai Marina and JBR. It's worth noting that when you take the metro, you'll need to use a null card, and it's split into 3 zones. If you stay within one zone, that's 3 dirhams. If you travel to another zone, that's 5 dirhams. And if you travel through more than 2 zones, that's 750 dirham. There are a few attractions like the Butterfly Garden, the Global Village, and the Palm, which we'll talk about later, that you can take a bus to, but buses are not the best way to get around in my opinion. When we were going to the Global Village, we went to the bus stop, which is at the Mall of the Emirates, and we waited like an hour just to get on. There was a lot of people waiting as well, and most of those people didn't even get on the bus. Luckily, we were one of the few that did get on the bus because we were one of the first ones that got there. So in the case that you do want to go to the Global Village, I would recommend using a Careem instead, which is like the Uber of Dubai in the Middle East. It's just going to save a lot more time getting there. On the way back, there are a bunch of buses that just wait at the entrance of the Global Village, and it took us to the Mall of Emirates on the way back. But if you do want to get to the Global Village for a certain time, then I definitely wouldn't recommend taking the bus. But going back, you'll be fine with taking the bus. So like I mentioned, Careem is like the Uber of the Middle East. They also do have Uber, but it's not as popular. Careem is going to be the cheaper option, and there's going to be a lot more it has to offer as well. If you want the cheapest fare though, I would type in where you're going on both apps and then just pick the cheapest one. That way you know for sure if Careem or Uber is cheaper. But usually it is Careem. Another way you can get around, and this is only if you're near water, is by taking an Abra, which is only 1 dirham. The main trips are across the Dubai Creek, but I've also seen that it goes from the Dubai Creek all the way to the Dubai Marina, with a few stops in between as well. If you want to go to Abu Dhabi, there's a bus that takes you there and it stops at Ibn Battuta station. But Abu Dhabi is really tough to get around if you don't have a car. There are some free buses that get you to the main spots of the city, but they usually come every like 2 hours, and you'd likely have to combine a bunch of buses. So those 2 hours could end up being like 6 hours just to get from like one spot to another spot that's only like 10 kilometers away. But if you want total freedom to explore Abu Dhabi, the best way is definitely by renting a car. But if you can't get a car or choose not to, there's also a tour that you can take, which is usually around $50, and they'll take you to the main spots you'd want to see in Abu Dhabi, like the Emirates Village, the Emirates Palace, Yas Marina, and Yas Mall, and then the mosque. Those are basically the 4 spots that they'll take you, and you'd also get picked up and dropped off at your home if you're staying in Dubai. Now it's time to move on to the next expense, and that's accommodation, and Dubai is definitely an expensive place for short-term rentals. The cheapest place to stay is going to be either Deira or Old Dubai, and both of those are on the subway line, so it's easily accessible to get there, and it's a cool area to check out for the day. So that's the cheapest spot, but it's not the spot I'd personally recommend. The 2 best areas are going to be either the Dubai Marina or Business Bay. These are going to be the most expensive as they are the most popular spots, but there's a lot of hostels in those spots that are pretty cheap too. And hostels are going to be the cheapest option in terms of those places to stay. You can also stay a bit out of the Dubai Marina, like close to DMCC station, if you do want to stay in an Airbnb or a hotel. And that's going to be cheaper than staying right at the marina. And you'll be within walking distance of the marina, and also on the subway line, so you can get to anywhere you want to be faster. This is the area where we did stay in Dubai. With Dubai being such a popular destination and a lot of people wanting to go, booking as early in advance as you can is going to be the best option by far for getting the cheapest fare. I'd recommend at least 3 months in advance, but sooner is even better because places do book up really quickly here. Also, if you do want a cheaper stay, check out Planin, which I linked below. And if you use the link, you can get some spots for up to 40% off in Dubai, but also anywhere around the world that you want. It's a great place for finding the best deals on hotels anywhere you want around the world, including Dubai. Another expense that's usually expensive and unavoidable in Dubai is food. Dubai is known for its expensive restaurants, and basically anywhere you go, you'll be spending a lot of money for a meal. So just like anywhere, the best place to get cheaper food is by going to the grocery store. There's lots of them in Dubai, and if you go anywhere, there's a lot of fresh produce that you can buy and prepare yourself if you have a kitchen. There's also lots of samosas everywhere too. There's also a bunch of little local restaurants that are basically hole in the walls that serve local food. Usually it's gonna be like sandwiches or wraps, and they can be found in either Deira or Old Dubai mostly. And at those shops you can get sandwiches from anywhere between like 5 to 8 dirhams, which is much cheaper than any other restaurant in Dubai. One thing I would recommend, and this is a trick I would recommend using anywhere while traveling, is checking out ChatGPT and typing in best happy hours in Dubai, and you'll just be given a bunch of spots that have really good happy hours, and you can be a lot more specific. So writing something like good happy hour deal for drinks in Dubai Marina or cheapest all you can eats in Business Bay. And then just do this to find the best one you want, and this is going to be much faster than using Google for research. Something that you won't be able to escape is very expensive alcohol prices in Dubai. It used to be an alcohol-free city, but now with the popularity of Dubai, they started introducing it more and more, but it's very highly taxed and it's very expensive at restaurants, bars, or clubs. When we were walking around, I honestly didn't see any stores selling alcohol, but I looked it up and there's a store called African plus Eastern, which I didn't see, so I can't say if it's expensive or not, but by looking at the prices, it does seem cheaper than Canada, but that's not a good country to compare to anyways. Now for attractions, another thing that's outrageously expensive in Dubai. Let's start it off with the most popular one, the Burj Khalifa. Tickets to the main floor, which is only 456 meters out of the 828 meters, is 179 dirhams. To get up 555 meters, it's 399 dirhams. And to be at the highest point you can go, which is 585 meters, it's 769 dirhams. So it's clearly an expensive ticket, but the cheapest time to go is at sunrise, which is 159 dirhams. And you go to the main floor. So it's a bit cheaper, but still pretty expensive. Also, in the sunrise ticket, you get a free breakfast included, which is honestly better than I thought it was gonna be. And you get a free drink too. In my personal opinion, I don't know if it's that worth going up to the top of this building because it is that expensive, and the views are honestly not that great as well. And you can't really see too much because the sand is covering basically anything that's not within like a 5-kilometer radius. One thing I definitely do recommend though is a Dubai sand dune tour. It was like $40 US, and you get to ride an ATV, which is always a bit of an extra charge. I think it's like 200 dirhams, and none of the tours will ever include it, so you're gonna have to pay extra for that. But then you also get to ride a camel, go sandboarding, go dune bashing in the car, watch sunset in the desert, which is one of the most stunning spots to watch one. And then after, you get to go to a Bedouin camp, eat some Bedouin food, and watch a show. And on top of that, you also get picked up and dropped off right at your hotel. If I'm gonna recommend one activity, it's definitely this one, and I'll also link below the tour so that you can book the same one yourself. We had an amazing tour guide, Imran, who was by far one of the best guides I've ever had on any trip ever. Also, the Dubai Aquarium is also really expensive. It's like 200 dirhams per person. But there's actually a large part of it in the Dubai Mall where you can see it for free. So if you want to check out some aquatic animals but don't want to pay the money, you can see like sharks, stingrays, a bunch of different fish, all from the free part of the Dubai Mall. Now let me name a few things that are free or just some cheaper alternatives to some of the coolest spots. One of the cooler spots to visit is the Dubai Global Village, which on some days it's also free, or they have a lot of discounted days as well. And on the website, you'll find all of these days. So check that out. The ticket itself is also not that expensive. I think it's like 20 dirhams. If you want to go watch some camel racing, the Al Mamoum racetrack, which is the main racetrack, is free to watch it, but it is really tough to get to. If you want to do a free yoga class, there are free yoga classes at Kite Beach every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. If you visit in January or February, that's the time during the Dubai Shopping Festival. And so much stuff goes on sale, and a lot of stuff is even like 75% off. So if you're going to Dubai for shopping, January and February will be the best months. If you want to do some cheaper shopping, then go to some outlet malls, and the best ones are Outlet Village or Dubai Outlet Mall. Some of the cheapest gold in the world is in Dubai, and the cheapest spots to get it is at the Dubai Gold Souk. For some of the best deals on a lot of attractions or even some shopping and any events or even stuff like massages, basically anything you can think of, check out Groupon Dubai. Getting to the Palm is consistently on Groupon, so if you want to get to the Palm for the cheapest price, then do it on Groupon Dubai. Kabone is another website that's just like Groupon. The entertainer has a lot of buy one get one free deals, and one more website you can check out is Dubai Deals. I really hope this video helped you with planning your trip to Dubai. If it did, please like because it really helps me out, and subscribe to see a lot more travel content. And check out my travel vlog of Dubai to see all the best food spots, attractions, and honest opinions of everything I thought about Dubai. And just the best experiences of things you can do in this city. I'll see you again in the next one.